What's up guys, we're going to be going through the best player props on PrizePicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 9 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 3 picks right and got 9 correct, which is still a 75% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 75% win rate. So we are on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 9 picks right like me and a 75% win rate, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you will have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $3,200 just yesterday, and another member who won $200 for the 4th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. Now we are going to start off with MLB, and when it comes to these picks guys, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick is Ronald Acuna Jr, and this is for 11.5 hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for less. Now if we actually look at Ronald over the last 5 games, he actually has gone under only once out of the last 5. However, they do face off against Pittsburgh, which I think is going to be a tough matchup for him. On top of this, over the last 5 games, he did only verse 2 teams, which is the Angels and also the Cubs. So the last 5 games are a little bit skewed since they didn't verse a variety of different matchups. And I do believe matchups are super important. And that's why for Ronald Acuna Jr. against Pittsburgh, we should see him go on the under here. His average over the last 5 is 18.2. So although signs do point towards him going on the over, like I mentioned guys, I think matchups are super important, and now that they're going up against a different team, or Atlanta and Ronald Acuna Jr. go up against Pittsburgh, it may be struggle for Ronald to go on the over here, and that's why we do like the under. So Ronald Acuna Jr. for 11.5 hitter fantasy score for under or for less, I think is an absolute steal. Now getting to the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Freddie Freeman. Now when it comes to Freddie Freeman, this one is for 9 hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for under. Now when it comes to Freddie, he actually has gone under once out of the last 5 games. Like I mentioned before guys, I do believe this matchup is going to be different. Now that first game on August 5, they did verse SD as well, and he was able to go under. The last 2 he did go over, but we do believe things will change in this matchup, as SD will probably look to try to get him to go on the under in this situation. Now his average over the last 5 also shows 17.4, so although the signs do point towards him going on the over, we do really like the under for this situation. So with this one, we have Freddie Freeman, 9 hitter fantasy score for less. I think is a great pick and a fantastic pick overall. Now getting to the next pick, we're actually going to talk about more of a first innings runs allowed. So this one's going to be an interesting one, because this one is actually none other than Spencer Strider and Osvaldo Bido, and this one is for 0.5 first inning runs allowed, and this one actually is for more. Now there really isn't too much history to go off here when you look at the last 5, but I do believe in this matchup we probably will see a lot of runs in this matchup. Very fast-paced game, and that's why for this game between ATL and Pitt, we should see an over for the first innings runs allowed. So because of those reasons, we think Strider and Osvaldo will probably allow quite a lot of runs going on, especially in that first inning. So that's why we do like the over for it. So Spencer Strider and Osvaldo Bido for 0.5 first inning runs allowed for more, I think is a great steal. Now getting to the next pick, we're actually going to head back into hitter fantasy score, and we're going to be talking about none other than Carlos Correa, and this is 6.5 hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for more. Now if we actually look at Carlos Correa over the last 5, he's actually gone over 2 out of the last 5 games. Now one of the reasons why this is super important is due to the fact that over the last 2 he's been able to go on the over, and they also verse a different team in this matchup. Now they do face off against Detroit, which I think is going to be a good matchup for him to go on the over here, and his average over the last 5 is also 4.2, which is definitely close enough for him to be able to go on the over and close enough to his line. Like I mentioned before guys, if we look at the last 5 games, we see it's a little bit skewed due to the fact that he's only versed 2 teams. Now that they have an easier matchup in Detroit, we should see Carlos Correa go on the over, and it shouldn't be too much of a struggle for him. So Carlos Correa, 6.5 hitter fantasy score for more, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting to the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Cody Bellinger, and this 7.5 hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for more. Now if we actually look at Cody Bellinger, he's actually actually gone over in 4 out of the last 5 games. Sorry. Now, when it comes to this as well, what I do believe is very, very interesting to see is due to the fact that they do face off against the Mets, that it should be able to go on the over for it. Now, his average over the last 5 is also 14.4. So all signs really do point towards Cody actually going on the over here. And I think the Mets matchup will also kind of solidify him going on the over here. Cody Bellinger, 7.5 hitter fantasy score, 4 more, I think is a great pick. Now, getting into the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Kwan, and this for 7.5 hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for less. Now, if we look at Kwan, he's actually gone on the under 4 out of the last 5 games, and they also do face off against Toronto, which should be a tough matchup for Steven to go on the over here. His average over the last 5 is also 4, which is almost half of the line of 7.5. So all signs really do point towards Steven going on the under here, and we do believe the matchups do play a huge part, and against Toronto, we should see Steven go on the under here. So Kwan, 7.5 hitter fantasy score for less, I think is a great pick overall. So guys, as you all know, there really isn't any other sport besides MLB tomorrow. So, with no WNBA, we will be focusing on MLB. Now, another great pick is Arraez, and this is none other than 7, hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for less. Now, when it comes to Lewis, he actually has gone under in 4 out of the last 5 games, which is interesting. On top of this, they do face off against Cincinnati, of course, and that should be a very good matchup, but we should see him actually go on the under here. Now, his average over the last 5 is also 5.2, which also shows a big sign for him going on the under due to the fact that the line is at 7. So with all signs pointing towards him going on the under, we do believe Lewis will probably go on that under, especially in this matchup against Cincinnati. So Arraez for 7 hitter fantasy score for less, I think is a great pick overall. Now, getting to the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Matt Olson. It is none other than 9 hitter fantasy score, and this one actually is for more. Now, if we look at Olson, he's actually gone over in 4 out of the last 5 games, which is interesting. And on top of this, the average over the last 5 is also showing 13.6. Now, when it comes to the hitter fantasy score of 9, it's definitely well over, 13.6, or 13.6 is well over the hitter fantasy score. And I think that's one of the big reasons for the over for this. Although the bookies do believe that he will actually be able to go on the over here due to the matchup that he does face off against Pittsburgh. So with all those reasonings being very, very good, and with bookies do believing so as well, we should see Matt Olson go on the over here. So Matt Olson, 9 hitter fantasy score, 4 more, I think is a great pick. So if you do want to win more bets and win more money, don't forget to join our exclusive Discord group by signing up to our Patreon. Should be a link down below in the description, or you can also find it in the pinned comment down below. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets and win more money today. So guys, I'll see you over there, and I'll see you soon. Peace.